So earlier there was problem in recording button, and now I have started the recording. So whatever earlier part of 30 minutes, so that I will just take review if anybody have missed this class. So now let it be recording. Will you continue from this point? So I was talking about the third part, that is container design features. So these are the different container design features which we are talking about. Now the basic shapes of the container, whatever four shapes are given, all these are called as basic shapes. This it includes round shape, square shape, oval shape, then oblong shape. The type of plastic material to be used. So these all following are the factors to be considered before proceeding for the design. So whenever you are going to design anything, number of factors here also plays important role. Type of plastic material, physical size and shape, what actually exactly the size is, what actually the shape is, then how much neck finish size is required, then sharp the shape of the container which you are using, then types of threads, you are observing the threads here, okay, parting line and the filler point and weight of the component. So these are the parts of container design. So whenever you are going to design any container, you have to consider all these aspects. Okay, this is the third part which I was explaining to you. See this round shape, you can take screenshot. You can take screenshot. Then fourth shape is here. Special considerations for bottle design. Now, which are the special considerations for bottle design? The cost, important structural and mechanical consideration in the bottle design includes. So, 1 minute. So, there was some disturbance. So, special considerations for bottle design, which is the next point. Here, point D, special consideration in the bottle design. Okay, so it includes vertical strength, then wall thickness uniformity, whether there is a uniformity maintained in the wall thickness, then highest deflection. So the deflection parts may be checked after manufacturing or molding, and all these things are checked. Then push-up strength, then label considerations, rigidity of your product, shape, and hot fill capacity. I repeat this once again. I am explaining the point number D. Point number D is special consideration. So vertical strength. The part is literally kept on some machine and strength is measured. So once one or two samples are performing okay, then only remaining parts are manufactured in the mold. Otherwise, if you find that some problem is there, then there will be modifications in either of the part which is given above. Maybe either material, maybe change in thread, maybe fill point, maybe little reduction in weight or increasing weight. Such trial and error cases may be carried out. Wall thickness uniformity is also checked. Then deflection rate, label consideration. Last one is hot fill capacity. So special considerations includes hot fill capacity, means some hot drink is filled in that bottle, maybe hot water or hot oil, and then how it is behaving, how, whether it is showing any leakage or whether it is showing deflection due to hot liquid, such all cases are checked. So these are special considerations for bottom and you are engineer, you are going to launch the product, so you should consider all these aspects while designing the mold for blow molding process. Next one is very important aspect, blow ratio. See, it is given. Blow ratio varies between 1.3 to 1.5 to 3. Check. What is blow ratio? See here, this is one bottle. This is just view, top view. And as you know that there is a parison which is used for producing the bottle. So blow ratio means product diameter upon parison diameter or mold diameter upon parison diameter. So if this parison diameter is 2 centimeter and bottle will be produced with diameter 4 centimeter, then blow ratio is equal to 4 by 2. It will be 2. I hope you are getting my point. Blow ratio is final bottle diameter or mold diameter. It may be same, neglecting the thickness, divided by parison diameter. So parison diameter is less and bottle diameter is more. Definitely figure will be more than 1. So that's why blow ratio varies from 1.5 to 3. So if I say that bottle diameter is 4 centimeter, then bottle diameter is 4 centimeter, then parison diameter will be bottle diameter will be 4 centimeter and parison diameter will be 2 centimeter. In that case, blow ratio is equal to the bottle diameter divided by parison diameter, and it becomes 2 cent. That is factor is 2, 4 by 2. So this is called as blow ratio, and it varies from 1.5 to 3. And this blow ratio is the maximum part finished outer diameter divided by diameter of parison. Same thing I told. And now this blow ratio also depends upon the parison temperature and parison thickness. It also plays, if your parison is not having not with proper primary temperature, initial temperature, then blowing will be difficult in that case. 1 minute. So I repeat once again, blow ratio also depends upon the initial temperature of the parison, pre-temperature of the parison. If parison will not be proper hot, it will not be blown correctly. That's why you will not get correct blow ratio. Are you getting my point? So this is all about the blow ratio. Please take the screenshot. Next important parameter is material used for blow mold construction. Not for bottle. I am talking about material used for blow mold construction. See the material for blow mold construction. Now we are talking about sixth point, material for blow mold construction. So for your kind information, and you are also knowing the material for blow molding or any mold is usually non-ferrous alloy or steel. In case of blow molding, aluminum alloy and copper alloys are normally used along with steel. I repeat once again, aluminum alloy and copper alloys are used along with steel. So these are light in weight, aluminum alloys. So light in weight will give good, you can handle it easily, and the aluminum alloy or maybe copper alloy, their proper strength is developed which can withstand the continuous this heating and cooling cycles. So whatever mold you have prepared, that must withstand the strength, that must have the strength to withstand the heating and cooling cycle of the plastic component. So first material is aluminum alloy. Usually this aluminum alloy material is high grade aluminum alloy, maybe the material which is used in aircrafts, and it also includes zinc, magnesium, copper, chromium as alloying element. It is having good thermal conductivity, good machinability, and as light in weight, it carries very high benefit. And here, most probably, this aluminum alloy may be used. Along with second material is copper beryllium. Now, these copper beryllium material have good thermal conductivity, corrosion resistance, and mechanical toughness. But for your kind information, we have also studied this in the third year subject metallurgy. Beryllium is very costly. Okay, beryllium is very costly material. That's why if we use copper beryllium alloy, then the cost of die will be far and far higher. And some economy must be also considered. That's why depends upon requirement, the material is selected. Third is as usual steel. There are special purpose steels. So we have studied chapter ferrous alloys where A type, H type, or A series, H series, O series, D series. All these concepts we have seen. Similarly here, special purpose steel may called as a die steel, and most probably the steel is preferred, and usually steel have good corrosion resistance and toughness because chromium and nickel other parts are also improving the corrosion resistance of this part, and excellent surface finish will be given to the molds. So apart from aluminum, beryllium, see, strength of the steel is better than aluminum. That's why steel is preferred many times. And apart from it, some zinc alloys can also be used for preparing the molds. And zinc also have good thermal conductivity, and synthetic plastic and as acrylic polyesters can also be produced. Plays the important role here. So here miscellaneous material includes zinc materials, but other than that, steel, copper beryllium, and aluminum alloys. These three are traditional materials, out of which steel will be less costlier than other two materials. Aluminum is cheaper than steel, no doubt, but copper beryllium is very costly material. So depends upon the requirement and availability and priority, the materials are selected. So friends, so what we have covered in this design consideration of blow mold, already I mentioned you at the start, there is no such calculations, etc. Only the parameters are considered. So it includes what we have covered: blow molded part design considerations, neck base, shoulder, body, then other base, curves. All these are blow molded part design consideration. Then second is corner and edge rounding. So their care should be taken that there should not be wall thinning at the corner or edge. Then container design features. So container design features means there are different concepts of container design, which includes round shape, square shape, oval shape, and oblong shape. Then special considerations for bottle design. Special considerations are also covered. The special consideration includes vertical strength, then highest deflection, then hot filling capacity, rigidity, wall thickness, uniformity, etc. etc. Then blow ratio is studied. Blow ratio includes diameter of product divided by diameter of Paresan or diameter of mold divided by diameter of Paresan. Always it is more than 1.5 and varies up to 1.5 to 3. If you want to improve blow ratio further, you should maintain the Paresan temperature properly. So if there is optimum temperature, you will get maximum blow ratio during your blowing operation. And material of blow mold construction that I just now I told, aluminum alloys, copper beryllium alloys, and steel. Okay, so this is as far as design consideration of blow mold is concerned. Now this is not part of theory examination. This is just part of practicals. Okay, so let us stop here. Just wait. I'll take attendance. This is very small practical, and only contents are just design considerations. Just wait. So in this way, we have completed 3 experiments, and now remaining part may be covered in the next practical. We have only theoretical experiments. There is no any conduction. We will stop here. Thank you.